mom came into the room and she's like, "Look at my phone," and then I couldn't see it, so I had to look at mine. I'm like, "Oh,
I can't bet against Tom Brady. I have the Bucks winning 31-27, and Tom Brady going to his 10th championship.
yeah." And I really think the Clippers' chance to win the championship was last year, and they were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets.
Chris Paul is one of the most underrated players of all time. He's been the best player wherever he goes, and that includes with the Rockets.
You said you can't bet against Tom Brady, and as a Cowboys fan and what I just did last weekend, I am not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that's all I can really say. There's two of the top 5 players in the league, and they are very, very good.
Hello, I'm Taylor Hearn, and you listen to The Outsiders' Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week. New year, new Correa team. Possibly. It's still pending a physical, which this is wild because I thought the Mets thing was done, and then they started taking their time. What are your thoughts on this, Austin?
I don't even know what to think. I saw some talk that the camp, Correa's camp was trying to get the Yankees involved, and I was initially mad that we didn't take some sort of time to think that through and maybe make a deal. But if this is really what his physical looks like and he's actually not healthy at all, I agree with many of these teams for not trying to go for him.
Yeah, I agree. It's very interesting. I don't know what the Mets were thinking when they were like, "Yeah, we'll sign you," but then they started taking their time. Like, what did you think the Giants were doing?
I don't know. The Giants had no way of knowing the physical before. A team, the fact that he could be going back to the Mets really surprises me because they would have known before anyone what his physical status looked like. So they must know that it's not as bad maybe as it shows, or the doctors are overreacting to something that's insignificant. But I'm surprised that the Mets went for him if they saw how the Giants reacted, and now him going back to the Mets, maybe, I guess. I don't know. It just seems weird.
Yeah, I think apparently the Twins offered him a 10-year deal, and I agree. I'm like, they offered him a deal, but wasn't for as much, and then the Giants were paying the most. But now I think it's good for the Twins. I was hoping he would stay with the Twins because I just like the fit there, and they do know the medicals. And from what I've read or slash heard, it's just a possible ankle or leg injury that he hasn't had problems with to this moment. It's just the future. It was just with the Twins already knew this and they offered him a 10-year deal. But I think since they saw the market now, they're like, we can offer you less and still have you come to us. So I just don't get with the Mets. It seemed like they were pretty ecstatic. They're like, we're going to do this. I just found it funny. I just feel bad for the Giants because it was kind of Correa leaving on his own. And now it just stinks for Correa because he's now possibly going to get $200 million, not $300 million.
It is a shorter deal, but yeah, he's making less per year. And something I want to ask you is, do you think any other team, this has happened again, really? Does fail the physical, everything goes through it again, another team picks him up, maybe starts the year as a free agent?
I would say no because it's the Twins, and I think they already know about the injury that I think the Mets and Giants were worried about because they've had him for a year. But if he doesn't, I'd be pretty shocked just because there's a familiarity between the Twins and Correa.
Okay.
But if not, I would almost say he may sign the deal with like the Marlins or the Red Sox on a shorter deal than 6 years.
You said who, the Red Sox? The Marlins?
Marlins and Red Sox.
Do you think he could consider another 1 year and an opt out or something like that? Another short deal? Maybe that's even less money than he's getting on this $200 million deal, but one that another prove it.
Yeah, that's what I think it would have to be.
Okay.
So that was funny, just because I thought it was a for sure thing with the Mets, and then I saw the notification. He's signing with the Twins, and then I saw on Twitter it says pending physical. So we have no idea if he will be a Twin till I guess the press conference.
That last sentence was very scary.
Yeah. And then I forgot about this too. Rafael Devers signed an 11-year, 300 something million extension with the Red Sox. How surprised are you with this news?
I think they trade him, so I'm not that surprised. I don't think he's a Red Sox long term. I don't feel like I don't know if he wants to be there. I don't think the Red Sox are a team right now, as it's built, to be a contender for even the playoffs next year. I thought one of their better hitters, they lost probably their best two hitters from last year, other than Devers. Devers was their best player. But then their next two best hitters were probably J.D. Martinez and Bogarts. Bogarts is better than Martinez. But still, those are two of their best hitters, and now losing both, I don't know how they rebound from that. I was a little shocked that he signed the extension, but I think it was more of a fact that, hey, sign this, we'll trade you.
This year he gets traded?
I don't know about this year, but soon. I'd say within the next 3 years.
Okay. I would disagree because maybe in 5 years, but I just don't know. Because if you're the Red Sox, I think you'd be demanding a lot just because of the years. So I don't know what team would pay that amount in like prospects and such.
That's true. I mean, I just really thought that Devers was going to get his arbitration and next year go to a team like the Giants that need a third baseman.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought he would just decline the money because I think even if he has a bad year, I think he gets around the same deal or even more entering free agency.
Yeah, because there would definitely be a bidding war.
Yeah, or they trade him at the halfway mark and signs an extension. So that's shocking. I think it's good for the Red Sox because, like you said, he's a great player. It's just, it makes me question the other moves they made, losing out on Bogarts, not paying him enough. Because now it's just Devers and then Story.
They traded they got Justin Turner.
Oh, yeah. And then Yoshida is coming in.
Yeah. But he's an outfielder, I believe.
Well, yeah. I'm just thinking. And then they lost Nathan Eovaldi, who signed with the Rangers, which I like the move for the Rangers.
Yeah, I liked Eovaldi when he was a Yankee, and then I hated playing against him when he was a Red Sox, so I feel like that's a good move.
Yeah, I would agree. And to me, it shores up the Rangers' rotation because if you look at the Rangers' rotation, you have DeGrom, Gray, Perez, Heaney, Eovaldi. I believe that's the five. And then Odorizzi can fill in.
You really think Heaney's above Odorizzi?
Yes.
Why?
I think because it's a shorter term deal, and I think he would be a better pitcher. I think Odorizzi will be great in the bullpen, but I do think Odorizzi is going to fill in because out of those five pitchers, 3 missed time last year in DeGrom, Gray, and Heaney.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
And then the Rangers still have Dunning and Otto. So I think they start in AAA, and I think it will still be a 5-man rotation, but I like the security with the number of starting pitchers the Rangers have and that are capable starters. And then I think they can have a really good – they'll have an all right bullpen. It's not great, but I think there are some nice pitchers in that bullpen.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I agree, and I definitely think that this is a good step forward for the team.
Yeah. So, and then there are a few other moves. Gene Segura signed with the Marlins. I like this move for the Marlins. You were talking about Segura staying with the Phillies. Um,
Yeah, and another move they made is picking up Johnny Cueto, a veteran pitcher. I feel like this Marlins team could make a lot of noise. They have a lot of good players, and now they're gaining players with experience. Segura and Cueto have been now to a World Series, so they both have a plethora of experience. And the Marlins are a young team that needs that sort of leadership. So I feel like they could be a much better team next year.
yeah, and I think getting Cueto kind of frees up the market for trading a lot of their pitching prospects, which the rumors are they're willing to trade a lot of.
Yeah,
They're
I've
willing
heard
to trade
Pablo
pitchers.
Lopez is probably getting traded.
Yeah, or Jesus Lazardo apparently is on the market, or they're willing to trade. Same with Edward Cabrera and I can't remember. I think every pitcher except Alcantara.
I don't think they're trading Cabrera. I would be absolutely shocked.
Yeah, I know like Lopez. There were those deals with like the Yankees that just didn't work out,
Yeah.
but I think if they could package some of those players and then trade for Reynolds with the Pirates, that would I would think would be good with for the
I
Marlins.
feel like the Pirates would want prospects, though. I don't think Lopez would be someone they want, considering the fact that they are still building for the future and not right now.
Well, yeah, I think they don't trade Lopez. They trade Lazardo and other pitching prospects
Okay.
because I feel they can trade one of those pitchers since they signed Cueto.
I'd agree with that.
But you could also argue the same thing with the Rangers with signing Evaldi because now you have a plethora of starting pitchers. But I hope they don't trade those guys.
Yeah, with the lackluster standing of the bullpen, you'd probably want one of those guys just to move back there instead of being traded.
Yeah, or just like with the injuries with all
True,
the
that as well.
pitchers. So we'll have to see. And then speaking of pitchers, Gregory Soto was traded to Philly. And speaking of bullpens, I like that move for Philly.
Oh, that's a great move. 2-time now, back-to-back All-Star, a good player. He's a little bit wild, but now they have the two hardest throwing lefties other than Aroldis Chapman in the league with Jose Alvarado and Gregory Soto.
Yeah, and I don't see Soto as the closer for them. Maybe he becomes the closer, but I see Alvarado as the closer. And then with Soto or Kimbrel, if one of them just catches flame or Soto, because I know he had like a 3 ERA, wasn't the best ERA, but
I feel like that was
um,
more the defense behind him than it was.
gotcha. So
I'll check
I
his
just
I'll
feel
check
like
his
that.
FIP real quick.
Okay. But his just as the bullpen arms, I think they also, in my opinion, have better rotation.
Yeah, he had a
Um,
3.28 ERA, and his FIP was around the same, so he's a
okay.
good pitcher.
But yeah, still, I think having for what you said, a lefty that can throw hard, I think it's a good pickup for them. And I didn't really see anything with Verling because they have Brandon Marsh at center field.
Something I will say that it's a little bit concerning is that his record last year, Gregory Soto's, was 2-11, which I find, as Kevin almost chokes on his Gatorade to that news, but
Yeah.
he had a 3.28 ERA and was 2-11. And that probably means that every run he gave up ended up in a loss because his team could not help him out at all. Because he only had 22 earned runs, 22, and was 2-11. Now he did have 32 runs, but only 22 were earned runs, which means that there was a lot of errors there and other situations that caused him to lose those games.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of see him coming in the seventh or eighth inning. What do you think?
I can see that. He did save 30 games for a pretty bad Detroit team, but yeah.
Because they also have Dominguez, and then Alvarado. Um, because I see Alvarado as a closer, and then Kimbrel is also in the same, like seventh or eighth inning with Soto.
I
It's
think it really, because of how deep their team is, it really depends on matchups more than anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. So depending on, I didn't like the Phillies' moves last year, and then they went to the World Series, but I like their moves this year. So we'll see what happens to them now.
Yeah, I think they'll be good, but we have to see.
Yeah, and then I believe that's it. Then Conforto, not sure if we mentioned this before. Conforto signed with the Giants. I think it's a 1 year deal, which can make sense. They'll see what happens, and we don't really remember. He missed most of last season, but the year before that, I believe he was an All Star. So I like it. It just thinks that they didn't get Correa, but may have been a smart move now, given what has happened to Correa with the other team that kind of lured him away from the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants definitely are a team that needs to rebound back to their really good stance that they were in 2021, and I think they can do that. But we'll have to see how Conforto fits now after being hurt for so long.
Yeah, and then that's all I got. Anything else, Austin?
Nope.
That is all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions, and make sure to check out all our other videos.